What's up, everybody? Welcome to another pond broadcast. Today we are going to replace this pond drain pipe. It's not a leveler, it's actually just like any other culvert pipe, but this side has settled. These rocks used to be quite a bit higher, I'm told, and it's just really hard to tell if there's a leak in this dam. I do know over there are springs. Could be causing part of the problem, but I doubt it. This is the pond drain pipe as well, and you can see it's actually trickling. So this the drain, the main drain that drains the whole pond, is leaking. Hopefully it's not going to give me trouble and I'm not going to fall through this old little dock. So we're just going to pull all these rocks out. We're going to put a new pipe in that comes all the way to the edge of that big rock. They're wanting me to leave that, so I'm going to have to really push down the dirt that I put in there so it mates to that rock and doesn't leak. There's a chance, and it looks like you can see the perfect ring. That pipe used to be out to the front edge of those rocks, so that whole thing's moving. I hope we can get this thing to release. Let's see. May have to bring the excavator down here and pull on it, which I'm not afraid to do. Sorry about the wind, everybody, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick perspective. That pipe, the bottom of it is roughly where the water level of the pond is, and you can see that white pipe is pretty much the bottom of that pond. Apparently it will drain that pond completely, so there's a good 5-foot drop. But if you can imagine, if we didn't drain this and somebody just jerked that pipe out and that water started cutting that dam, there's a lot of water there, and it would start flowing really quickly, and it would cut through the dirt, the dam, like butter, more than likely. I doubt that they really put clay in there, but we're going to find out, because I am going to use my 3-foot digging bucket, and I'm going to cut a core out of the middle of that dam. That way we can see what we're working with, and if there is a leak and I get into a lot of wet stuff, we'll be able to recompact that material that I bring out, and anything that's wet will cast aside, and I'll go do a little borrow pit, get some good dry red clay, pack in there, put the new pipe in. We'll be good to go. Here's another little project I've been working on this same project. I had a bunch of fallen trees down through here, and I've just come in and started cleaning it up, pushing it back. This is just going to be a little rental property in here. Just a quick little cleanup, nothing fancy. So I just walked the machine up here to pick up this section of pipe that the customer just had extra, I guess, from a previous project. We're gonna walk back down to the pond and hopefully get this sucker put in. See how that do. Let's just see. Maybe it'll come up. When all else fails, try a different choker. try that. Got it that time. That's a lot of agua. Yeah, this down in here's just soaking from that spring. Well, get her drained down. Once it turned loose, it really turned loose. That'll slow down. When it stops, we'll start pulling rocks and everything off. Let's go ahead and scoot back here a little bit. I'm gonna keep everything kind of neat here. It's all fair. See if I can go ahead and grab a rock or two here. Just lay them right there. Don't you go. I really don't want to drop these. We gotta move swift and with a purpose, but not in too big of a hurry. I need to look at that and see what I actually need to remove. That's actually about it. So I was actually able to pick those rocks out from around that pipe by hand pretty good. It looks like that pipe actually got crushed by the weight of all this moving. So you can see at this rock how much it's moved. Not that much. Let's walk on down here. See what we're working with. Yeah, our water flow's slowed down a lot there. So this is about to come to an end. That's really doing a good job draining. I'm just gonna grab these couple of rocks by hand, put my grading bucket on, strip the grass off a good area. Then we'll rip this pipe out and see what kind of core we're dealing with. I'm gonna wait. Looks like water's about done flowing through that pipe, so I should be able to go ahead and pull this stuff out of my way. Couple of those rocks there. So what I want to do, get rid of the water in my bucket for one thing. Rinse that out just a touch. Now, let's see what kind of a core we got here. Just going to carefully strip my grass, because obviously we don't have a whole heck of a lot of cover over these pipes. I mean, like none. Any more ground than I absolutely have to. Put that stuff on the slope so it's easier to pick up when I need it. some good topsoil out of that pile up there here in a little bit, and we'll be able to top this dam a little bit better. He said that he did an anti-seep collar here, so I'm gonna go in line with that other side. A little bit of grass isn't gonna kill anything. Like I say, this is really not gonna be much different than the way I do a culvert under a road, other than I'm gonna have a little bit of a core, just a little bit. Now, doesn't take a lot of a core. Let's go ahead and get this dirt off the top. I have a whole lot of places to put this stuff. Not a whole lot. I'm gonna do a 3-foot wide core once I get this pipe uncovered. Slope on the pipe. Some good little bit of topsoil right there. So I'm seeing a lot of red clay, and it's all dry so far. There's some more concrete, I guess. Back away from my pipe. That must be his anti-seep collar he said he did. And boy, is it tight. He did a fine job. I'm just going to go ahead and get a hold of this pipe. I thought I was. I'm going to put my digging bucket back on so I can grab it and pull it backwards. It'd be nice if I could save it for them, but sometimes when they've been put in that tight, it's hard to roll them out without just absolutely destroying them. Now, let's get this old pipe out. Check that trench a little bit. Oh yeah, see, we got some cavitation going on in there. We had some water behind the seep collar. Yeah, we got wood in here that was rotten too. Plywood. Some wood. So it was a good seep collar, but I think it just got under it. I think that's all it was. And all that little bit I see here, got water. So let's get this seep collar out. I'm convinced that's our whole issue. So we're gonna lift the pipe up on this end a little bit. Definite cavitation. Alrighty, let's get her cleaned out. Right, friends, let me put a glove on so you guys can see a little bit better. Here's part of the problem. If you stand here long enough, you can see, number one, there's plywood behind that seat collar. It goes way down in there, so I think we'll still be able to use it, but this ground is drying out rapidly and crumbling, and part of that is because of how sandy this is. That is not good soil to hold water. Water runs through it. It's very damp. You can tell that water's been seeping around in it. We've gotten down to some good red dry clay, and I think I dug through a layer of that really dark gray. Let me see if I can find some for you folks so I can show it to you. If I can find it. I may have already buried it. This stuff right here. This is like from an ancient creek bed. You can tell it. See how it packs smooth? That stuff is gorgeous. That will hold water all day long. I can make a bowl out of that. And it's not drying out, even though it's been in the sun. It's not just falling apart. See how doughy that is? That is some good stuff. So, my thinking is I'm going to move this stuff here, and I'm going to borrow from what I think is virgin ground. Skim this grass off. That stuff will grow grass pretty good. I'm going to just dig from here, put it in the hole, pack it in, do lifts, and continue our way up. Let's get this thing put back together. Yeah, and you can see down in there, that's nice and dry. I'll have to take that one scoop that just crumbled in, but we'll be able to start backfilling this thing in and have a nice core. Here's some rock here. I don't want that to end up down in my creek. I'm gonna go ahead and put those rocks way up there because I might have to borrow material from all over this place. Come in. Because it's going to take a lot of dirt to fill that hole back in. You betcha. It's got to be good dirt too. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. Well, I said I was going to go ahead. Boy, what a mess we've made today at 4:45 in the evening. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. That is the good stuff. And we're going to pack the dickens out of it. There's just not a lot of places real close to where I'm working right now to get good soil. Yeah, I think that stuff's going to pack in good. Let's see what we got. Yep, I think that's going to work pretty good. Now I'm going to take the radius of my bucket and I'm just going to clobber this stuff into place. And after I pack it, I'm going to take the teeth of the bucket and I'm going to scratch it about 6 inches deep because the pressure of this thing will pack about 12 inches deep. So you can see how smooth that is? That's some good stuff. So now I'm going to take my teeth and I'm going to rake. Hard to see. So we'll have a good 3-foot core. Now you guys can see, look at this. Just cavitation in here, but you can see this good clay, how smooth and sticky it is. That's some good stuff. We're gonna have this core here in a minute. Alrighty, we're making good progress. We're filling up there. We didn't have any more water coming in, so I'm gonna try to just partially close this guy. Had to get my trusty mallet and block of wood to set on top of this PVC, because just pressing down on it, it was wanting to just bow. I've pretty well matched flow down there. Actually, that flow's a little slower than that one, so this is going to fill up really slow as opposed to closing it completely off. That gives me plenty of time to dress this all up and make something good of it. All right, folks, we're down to the last few scoops. What I'm going to do is put some just loose dirt here to act as a dam for my concrete. And a pad, as it were. Give that pipe something to bite into once I put it down. See, we got quite the little hole here. Might have to thought I was going to have to dig another hole. Now what I'll have to do, I think that's going to work good right there. Once I set my pipe, I'll put a dam on either side. I'll build these edges up and leave just enough room and under that pipe to make a collar. So let's grab our pipe. Oh, guess I better move my pile of junk here. I'm gonna move my pile of junk and then go get our pipe. Here we go. Well, I think this pipe's the same size. It definitely looks a little bit different. It sets right in there. Let me scoop this pipe in just a touch. Here comes Mr. Jim. We'll get his approval on location. Now the sub layer is compacted to level grade. And I just put some of that powdery material right there, about 2-3 inches thick, so I can mash this pipe into it. And it'll really sink into those valleys on that pipe. You don't want to push hard, because this thing you will crush one of those pipes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put dirt along the top of this here. Well, clay, and along the top of this here. Just going to go ahead and push this back. Give us something fresh to start with. I'm just going to go ahead and drop Peter just a little bit more here. Get some of this good stuff. That's the good stuff right there. It's good and heavy. Did I just cut a cable out of there? It's not like a TV cable. It's a like an actual steel cable. See how heavy that is on that pipe? Let's go ahead and get us another bite. Now at this point, I'm not too worried. If I get a little bit of grass in there, it's okay. I am not too concerned. Actually, I'm going to cover this side just a touch more. Now on the back side of this pipe, I'm not like super duper concerned. Now you can't push too hard or it'll squish that pipe right up and out of the ground. And I can wiggle that pipe too in order to settle it on. See that gray on the bottom of that. That's good stuff right there, folks. Just lay this right in here. Here we are back about 20 hours after we left yesterday. It absolutely poured in Black Mountain a couple hours ago, but I guess it just didn't really rain here much. I was hoping that it didn't do a whole lot, because I haven't had, it's a little bit sticky here. But you can see that this pond, you can see that flow over there. Maybe it's taking this long for the pond to fill up close to its level that it was at. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pack around my pipe one more final time, throw some rocks around it, and we'll check back in with you guys. We have gotten some rocks placed. A landscaper and hardscaper I am not, but under that dirt there's already some rock. I placed those rocks to kind of like tuck up against around that pipe, and I'll end up moving them around a little bit, but that top rock is just to kind of add some weight to this while all this dirt settles. I've got a whole pile of topsoil up there, so once I build this dam up nice and even across, there'll be plenty of weight to hold that pipe down. These double wall pipes are good pipes, but they will float, and as water goes up under there, it can start lifting those pipes up, and that may have been part of our problem with the other pipe. There wasn't much ground cover, therefore I guess that it could have seeped under and lifted that pipe, especially during heavy rains, and it just started lifting that pipe up little by little. Could have contributed, I don't know, may just be a bunch of hogwash, but that's some good dirt. I'll get it covering this dam and we will check back in. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take you on a quick tour in the evolution of finishing a job like this. In the beginning, you have chaos, nastiness. Then you put some topsoil down. You start to get it good and smooth. You get your grass seed down, smoothed out, then your straw. And it starts to look good. Now, even though obviously rock does not need straw on it, I just go ahead and cover everything. And that way the straw gets in all those little nooks and crannies that the dirt's in, and I also overlap my rock just a little bit with dirt, and then that way that grass and the root mat can help hold everything together. And the steeper the slope, like over these, the outflow wall and the inflow, or head wall as some people call it, I'll put it down a little bit thicker. And then in here, not quite as thick with the straw. You don't want to go too thick, but you also don't want to go too light. Number one, the straw will hide the seed from birds and other things that will eat it, and it also holds moisture in. It shades that area. If you've ever done grading and the area was left alone for very long, you notice that anywhere those bare areas of even just clay are shaded, grass will start to grow without seed. So with seed and straw, you will be successful. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish this out and we'll check back in when I'm done. Man, I just about freaked out. I looked down there and saw that water trickling. Thought I had a leak, but then I remembered I left that drain running just a little bit, but up here, not a single sign of moving water. Let's get this thing finished.